How you doing? Today we're gonna be learning a little holiday look, and I'm so excited because I am using the James Charles Morphe palette in this look, and I've used it before. This isn't like a first impressions or anything. This is kind of like I've already done this look. Everyone loved it when I wore it to work, so I was like, I'm just gonna make a YouTube video about it because everyone likes it so much, so I might as well. So other people might like it too. So I haven't filmed in a minute. I am so sorry for my absence. I have no excuse. I have no parent note or doctor's note. No, this isn't a wig. This is my hair, girl. I got this done. It kind of does look like a wig a little bit. It's very late at night. My neighbor is being so loud. If you can hear him throughout the video, I do apologize. He's a character. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I'm just apologizing in advance if you can hear him. I feel glamorous. I feel sexy as with this makeup, honestly. I like it. I hope you like it too. And if you want to know how to achieve this cute, festive, glowy holiday look, then keep on watching. Okay, first of all, I'm already out of breath. It's been a minute since I filmed on camera. I'm going to keep looking at myself. I'm sorry. I'm not. I always start off with the primer because I like to let my primer sit. So I'm going to start off with my Smashbox Photo Finish primer, foundation primer, whatever. This is what I start off with. I like this because it has sunscreen in it, and here's my thing about sunscreen and makeup. You have to reapply sunscreen like every couple hours or so, depending on the SPF. Don't rely 100% on your makeup to give you the sun protection that you need, because this does it, but you need to apply it, so it's kind of gimmicky. The drive to work and getting into work, that's the only reason I need sunscreen. Because I don't go outside, you can tell, because my shade is translucent. So, I'm going to apply my primer. I'm going to shake it because it gets like separated and weird. It gives me a really nice that was weird. It gives me a really nice airbrush look, which I appreciate because I have a lot of uneven texture and pores and stuff that I'm working on with my skincare regimen. So I like to let my primer sit on my face. I like to get it acquainted to my skin, So while this sits, I like to do my eyebrows. So I'm going to do that. Probably not going to put it in the video because like everyone likes to do their brows a little bit different. Oh, she's cute. Oh God, and I look tired. So I'm going to prime my eyelids for my eyeshadow. I like to do my eyeshadow first when I do more creative looks, because that way if something goes wrong, I can just wipe off the eye instead of having to wipe off foundation and primer and all of that, and that's just a mess. Like, I'm not willing to commit to doing your foundation first with crazy eyeshadow looks because it's too much commitment for me. I put too much trust in myself when I do that, and I don't trust myself at all. I still kind of suck at makeup, so it's just a learning experience. And that's the tea, sis. So, I prime my eyelids with the Tarte Shape Tape. This is the Morphe M421 brush, whatever. It's just like a really small packer brush, concealer brush, whatever. So, I'm just going to kind of put this a little bit on my lid, and then I'm going to pat it out. I like to use Tarte Shape Tape to do that because it's drying. So it kind of like sets itself. I do set it, however, but it is a really, really long lasting and full coverage concealer. It takes very little to do that. And also where I don't put on my foundation first, it does lay a base to where it will match my foundation later on. Instead of just kind of having like a clear and then you can still see this part of my skin that won't match my foundation. Now, we're going to begin a journey together. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm not. our journey begins with the James Charles palette. I'm using it today specifically because it has this beautiful red here, and then it has some greens here, and we're doing like a little Christmas moment today. I had to pull my hair back because it's getting hot. Like, this is too much work already. This ring light's hot. These other lights that I have in here are making me hot. Let's get ready. So, I'm going to take a Morphe M513 brush. I'm going to take the shade Canvas. This shade right here, I'm just going to kind of set my lid with that. I think I need to add a transition color first, and I'm going to use the shade Rusted. This is the shade Rusted. It's a very like rusty orange red color, which is probably why he named it that. I'm going to take the Morphe M573 brush. 573. I don't know. Fluffy Morphe brush. And I'm going to tap it off. And I'm going to, not in my crease, but on my brow bone, like right above my crease. And use very, very gentle windshield wiper motions. And I'm going to drag it all the way into the inner corner here, as well as fan it out and fluff it out to the tail of my brow. And I do want to keep it very light. I don't want to do too much pigment on this. Only because I'm using it more as a transition color, and I want the red to have more of an airbrush effect. And by doing that, I like to add a lighter shade and then go in with the more pigmented shade and the deeper shade. With the same M73 brush from Morphe, I'm going in with You're Kidding, which is this beautiful, beautiful red shade that I'm obsessed with. Do a little tappy tap. I'm going to put it directly into my crease. I'm going to start where my brow arches. And we're going to do windshield wiper motions. Drag it to the inner corner. And fluff it out. Yes. So one thing I've noticed about these shadows, hear me out, is that they are very easy to blend. I will say that. However, I think this was done on purpose because you need to build up pigment in order to get the shade that you want and the look that you want, and it's easier to blend out when you build up pigment. To get to the pigment that I desire, I have to go in a few times, which to me isn't that big of a deal because some days I prefer a softer, less pigmented look, and other days I want to be like wham bam, thank you ma'am, you know. And I really just like to be able to build the pigment because then that way I am in control. I like decide what the look is going to be today. Okay, so I have more of my Shape Tape right here, and I have the same little M421 brush. Now we're going to cut this crease, girl. Okay, so I start at the lash line, okay? And then I do this little thing where I look up, boom. See that right there? Where that concealer went? That's where you're gonna cut it. Ha ha ha. Just gonna wing it out. Yup. It's that easy. Oh my god. It definitely does take a little bit of practice to do a cut crease, and I'm not saying that I'm fantastic at it. I'm definitely not. It's very much a mediocre cut crease. However, I like it. And not gonna lie, I'm always pretty proud of it. So what does it matter? what other people think. Continue making your outline with your cut crease by looking straight up, because your concealer will create that crease for you, and then all you have to do is go in and fill it. So to set like the concealer I just put down, I'm going to use this color. It's called Social Blade. So I'm going to take a different M573 brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to just kind of brush it all over the lid. Now I'm going to dip into the shade. It's called Guac. It's like a green shimmer. I'm going to just pack it on top of what I just did, you know. So I'm going to use the M124, 124, whatever, the Morphe brush, this little packer brush, going into the shade Guac. And I'm going to get a pretty generous amount. And I'm just going to put it right on top of the Social Blade that I put on. I want to focus it mainly in the middle, almost like a halo eye. And then I'm going to blend it and the technique that I use is I push it down onto the lid and then I kind of like buff it. So now I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and wrap my finger with it, and we're just going to wipe this here. So I'm going to do this eye exactly like I did this eye, and we're going to see how even it turns out, but I'm going to do it off camera. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So I have this one okay compared to this one. This eye never turns out as good, no matter if I do it first or not. This eye is just wonky, I don't know. I've been using this foundation pretty much since I started my channel, like a couple of years ago. I discovered it, I think Jeffree Star approved it, or one of the beauty gurus that I watch frequently said it is a really good foundation. So I tried it, and it is amazing. Like, it is top-notch drugstore foundation. It's like $12. It is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I put it on my little Morphe sponge. I put it on the bottom because I like to get my bigger spaces first. Of course, if you don't like the full coverage, whatever, lucky you, you can adjust how much of this you put on. It is very buildable coverage. So you can start off with a lighter layer and then go in more. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape. So I'm going to do Illuminati triangles under each of my eyes. Again with my Morphe brush, but I'm going to use the more pointed end. I'm going to start off with where I first placed it, and I'm going to keep it pretty much where I placed it, but maybe blend it out into the face a little bit more. Also being very careful around the eyeshadow where it comes out right here. I will give you a little bit of a warning, is this Tarte Shape Tape, if you've never used it before, definitely put it on one spot at a time. Like, put it on this eye, blend it, put it on this eye, blend it, and then put it anywhere else you would like to put it. Because it does dry rather quickly, and then that can make it a little bit harder to blend out. Now, I'm definitely somebody who bakes my face with powder. I use currently the NYX Mineral Matte Finishing Powder. I'm just kind of testing this one out right now because they didn't have the setting powder that I usually use. I like this one so far. I don't have any complaints about it. It's kind of messy, but I've noticed a lot of the loose powders from NYX are really, really messy. I haven't really been using it enough to kind of see, but whatever. So I'm going to put it exactly where I just put all of that concealer. Okay, so this was kind of my first opportunity to see if it had flashback, because most of the time if I'm using a translucent powder or any powder for setting and I'm using my ring light, I can tell if it's going to have flashback by my recording, and that's interesting. Oh my god, my neighbor is playing music so loud right now. I apologize, everyone. Like, I know that has to be so annoying. I think it's funny, but it's really annoying when I'm trying to film. Now, I for sure take this powder into my creases of my nose. It definitely prevents all of that 6 inches of foundation from getting all weird in there. I bake my smile lines, I bake right here, I bake my forehead, and I bake under my eyes. Those are places that I A, get oily, or B, crease, and I kind of let it just settle in. This is normally where I would do my hair. However, considering that I'm not doing anything, I'm literally just going to take this makeup look right off and go to bed. Since I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to kind of sit here and reevaluate my life choices.
Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Next. I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Next.
Ariana Grande is so iconic. And some people say it's not real music, meh, 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 meh. Shut up. Music is art. There's no right way to do art. Just like makeup. Mind your business. Now I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush that I bought just because it has a glittery handle to blend in this powder. So, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that this bad boy has been here since the beginning. This is the NYX The Go-To palette. The only reason I really keep this around at this point is because this contour shade is absolutely just... So I'm going to take this brush. Can't tell you what it is. It's just like a slanted contour brush, bronzing brush, slanted. If you would like to know how I contour my face, I pretty much do the same thing that I've been doing, and I made a whole video that you can go check out. I'll link it somehow, I don't know. So for blush, I've been using this forever too. A lot of times with my face makeup, I don't try anything different because once I find a system that works, I don't like to mess with it. I'll trade out products here and there, but for the most part, I just stick to the same stuff. But I use the Becca Mineral Blush. It's called Flower Child. It's really beautiful. It's a nice peachy shade, and it's got a slight shimmer to it, just not too much. And I'm going to use like a little flatter brush from that same set that I got. Just whatever blush works for you. For holiday looks and winter looks, I do add quite a bit of blush because like in the winter it's cold and you get those little rosy cheeks, and I think it's just cute. I love blush. Like, I wish we could bring blush back. A lot of people don't use it anymore, but like back in like the early days of makeup, this was contouring. People only used blush to contour. This whole video may be trash because I might have been washed out that entire time, but who cares? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of set my face. That way it just has time to melt into my skin, you know. So I use the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is honestly going to be like a big waste of my setting spray, but whatever. So with the cut crease, I do like to add a little bit of a wing eyeliner moment. I think that really adds more of a shape to the cut crease. And for my wing eyeliner, I have been loving the Tarte Sex Kitten. I got this about a year ago. I'm going to do the wings first, just to make sure they're even. I like to kind of flick them out to match my eyebrow. So and I like to add just barely anything at first, because then that way you can build it up, because you're going to do that anyway because you're going to mess up. Next, what I do with that little booger right there is I will go to the outer corner and I'll bring it in. Can you see what I'm doing? And I went all the way into my inner corner with the liner. Okay, so not super dramatic, just a little something something. Now I'm going to do my lower lash line, which is fun because you can like do literally whatever you want. You know, it's fun. Since I have the red on this crease, I don't really want to go super red underneath, because I don't want to look like I have an infection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with Rusted, which is that peachy, rusty, crusty color. And I have a Morphe M506 brush. And I'm going to kind of dust this very messily all the way across. Now I'm going to go in with a new shade, Fun Boutique. It's this color. It's like a brown with like a red auburn undertone to it. And I'm going to just kind of layer that more towards the outer corner and in the middle, just to kind of deepen it up. I'm going to go in with the color Daddy, which is this deeper green shade here. So this is Social Blade, this one's Daddy. Same brush, we're not changing, okay? And I'm going to just kind of tuck that and go all the way across, keeping it very tight. So all that's really left to do now is mascara and then lips and highlighter, and we're good to go, you know? I'm gonna do the highlight on my eyes first. For this look, I'm going to go in with this shade. It's called Face, and I like to put it under my brow bone, right here. And then I'll pop it in the inner corner. Now I'm going to go in with my mascara, which currently I am loving the Essence Get Big Lashes, the Volume Curl one. Essence mascara is kind of the bomb.com. It's like $4. I'm going to do these lashes. Y'all know how to put on mascara. If you don't, I'm sorry. You can definitely pop a lash on here. It would be beautiful with a fake lash, like a beautiful like faux mink moment, but I just really don't need it. If I went to like a holiday party or something, I probably would pop a lash on there, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I want to highlight my face real quick, and I use the Becca Cosmetics, the Champagne Pop highlighter. I also use the Morphe B13 brush as my highlighter brush. So I'll bring it down farther than I normally do, but I do know that I have larger pores because I'm oily. So if I bring it down into my big pore area, it will show those pores. I just do have to be aware of that, and you be aware of that as well, because a highlighter accentuates, so that's just something that comes with it. I'm also gonna highlight my chin right here. Cupid's bow. I'm gonna take a clean finger and pop a little on the tip of my nose and then streak it up the bridge. The only thing I have left to do with my lip, which most of the time when I do a look like this, I'll have my boyfriend pick out my lipstick for me, and he's really good at it because he'll pick colors that I normally wouldn't go with this. But for tonight, since he's not here, I'm going to stick with kind of a more neutral lip because I have all this going on. I'm going to let the Christmas have its moment. This one is the Malibu liner, and then this is Candy K, the matte Candy K. I want to go in with the matte lippy. If you wanted to have a little bit more of a fun look, I do have the Becca Cosmetics and Chrissy collab, like the Chrissy Teigen. This is Candy Cane. It's a gloss. If you wanted like just the red gloss, you could definitely put down a red liner and then pop that on top of it. It has been a journey, let me tell you, honey. It is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm very tired. I have to be up in about 6 hours, and it's gonna take me an hour to get ready for bed and to wind down, so it's fun. I hope you had fun on this adventure with me. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned either, you know, how to do a cut crease or what not to do with your makeup. I haven't filmed in so long. I almost forgot how much I love it, and I love doing it. It's just kind of a lot, especially when you go through like mental health. And I do want to do this, but sometimes it just kind of gets put on hold because I have adult things to do. I hope you love this look. It's a look. It's definitely a look. I hope you learned a few things, if anything, about my thoughts on the Morphe James Charles palette. I like it. Like, I think people are just haters. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this, it means so much to me. Check out some of my other videos that I've made. They're cute. I'm kind of funny. I make myself laugh. So that's all that matters. That's it. Thanks for watching. And as always, feel beautiful, feel fierce, and mind your business. Bye.